Persistence in this investigation has paid off.
The day's biggest stories. Well, the Tupac murder suspect was in court today, and boy.
Okay, and is that person going to be here today?
No, he needs 2 weeks, he said, to be here.
Hey, Keefe, Metro Police, come over here. Hey, Metro Police, come over here, all right?
We will continue to ask for a no bail setting because we believe under Nevada law.
One of the most difficult things for somebody to do in a case like this is hire the right lawyer.
That he will be convicted of first-degree murder, and that allows us to ask for a no bail setting.
Background on Duane Keefe D. Davis's arrest. Let's dive into the intriguing backstory of Duane Keefe D. Davis's arrest in connection to the legendary Tupac Shakur slaying case, a saga that unfolded over nearly 3 decades. So picture this. Back in 1996, Tupac's life was tragically cut short in a drive-by shooting in Las Vegas, and for the longest time, this case remained shrouded in mystery. Keffe D, a member of the Southside Crips, was a name that had long floated around as a potential suspect. But here's the kicker. He was never formally charged in connection with the crime. Fast forward to recent years, and Keffe D had a change of heart. Or maybe it was a nudge from his conscience. He started opening up about his involvement in the slaying, something he had managed to keep under wraps for nearly 30 years. He wasn't just casually chatting about it, he was laying it all out in interviews and even in a memoir. This newfound openness stirred the pot big time. Las Vegas police, smelling something fishy, decided it was high time to dust off the old case files and take another gander at the unsolved Tupac slaying.
An agreement with Duane Davis, and so there are some things that are still going to need to be worked out.
Walk over here, sir, okay? Don't worry, your water's gonna come.
The day's biggest stories. Well, the Tupac murder suspect was in court today, and boy.
You have anything on you, sir? Thirsty? Okay, yeah, we'll get you a drink. Hang on, all right?
Gang enhancement. So it's a case that is a very high-profile case here in Las Vegas.
Keffe D's public statements and admissions were like a neon sign pointing them in his direction. In fact, these confessions provided fresh leads and invaluable information, stuff that had been missing for years. This was a game changer. It's as if the whole Tupac slaying case was being shaken out of a long, deep slumber. Keffe D, knowingly or unknowingly, had just breathed new life into a once cold case. The police couldn't ignore it anymore, and thus, his arrest became an inevitable chapter in this complex and enduring mystery. So, there you have it. A suspect known to law enforcement for years, a notorious slaying case, and a sudden whirlwind of revelations. The arrest of Keffe D was more than just an arrest. It was a bold step in the quest for justice, a quest that had remained unfinished for far too long. Admissions in interviews and memoir. Let's delve into the jaw-dropping admissions that Keffe D made in recent years about his involvement in Tupac's slaying. These revelations are like something out of a true crime documentary. Brace yourselves. So picture this. Keffe D, after decades of keeping a tight lip, decides to throw caution to the wind and spill the beans. In various interviews, he lays it all out for the world to hear. He doesn't hold back. He openly admits to being a part of a chilling chapter in hip-hop history. Here's the kicker. Keffe D was one of the 4 individuals riding in a white Cadillac on that fateful night of September 7, 1996. That's the night Tupac Shakur's life was tragically cut short in a drive-by shooting in Las Vegas. He was right there in the midst of it all. But wait, there's more. Keffe D doesn't just stop at admitting his presence in the white Cadillac. He goes one step further and claims that it was his nephew, Orlando Anderson, who pulled the trigger, ending Tupac's life. It's like something straight out of a crime novel, the mastermind admitting to the deed but pointing the finger at his own flesh and blood as the trigger man. And the motive behind this heinous act? Retaliation. According to Keffe D, this brutal shooting was an act of revenge for a brawl that went down earlier at the MGM Grand on the very same night. This ain't your typical Hollywood movie plot. This is the gritty, real world of gang feuds and vendettas. Keffe D's admissions have not only rocked the hip-hop world, but also added a chilling layer to the already mysterious Tupac slaying case. It's like the missing piece of the puzzle finally being slotted into place. But remember, this is just the tip of the iceberg in a tale that's as complex as it is tragic. Reinvigorated case and indictment. So, here we are in the heart of the 21st century, and the unsolved slaying of Tupac Shakur is like a dark cloud that's never quite dissipated. But then enter Keffe D and his public statements, admissions that were nothing short of explosive. The Las Vegas police, who had likely shelved the case away in some dusty old archives, decided it was high time to give it another go. With Keffe D's words ringing in their ears, they dusted off the old files and took a fresh look at the case. It was like they were reawakening a sleeping giant. You see, these admissions were like gold to the investigators. It was the missing piece of the puzzle they had been hunting for all these years.
The man accused of plotting Tupac Shakur's 1996 murder made his first court appearance.
Hey, Keefe, Metro Police, come over here. Hey, Metro Police, come over here, all right?
Leading coverage in this historic arrest every step of the way. And tonight, our David Sharns with the photos and videos you haven't seen.
If you're clapping, I just want to make sure these cuts can be all right on you.
We will continue to ask for a no bail setting because we believe under Nevada law.
Phone and water.
Perfect.
I need to drink some water, man.
Persistence in this investigation has paid off.
Keffe D's interviews and his memoir, it was all right there in black and white. The who, the what, and the why of that tragic night when Tupac Shakur's life was brutally cut short. This was the kind of stuff that investigators dream of. It provided them with a lead, a direction to go in, and evidence they had never had before. And so, what happened next was nothing short of a shocker in the world of crime solving. Keffe D, a name that had been floating around as a suspect for years, was finally indicted. His own words, the very admissions that had the world buzzing, served as key evidence in the case. It was like he had unwittingly laid out the roadmap to his own arrest. This indictment was more than just another legal proceeding. It was a significant development in a case that had remained unsolved for far too long. The arrest of Keffe D marked a turning point in the relentless pursuit of justice for Tupac Shakur. It wasn't just a chapter in a cold case, it was a spotlight on the determination of law enforcement to bring closure to a decades-old mystery. Keffe D's claims about Tupac's slaying. First things first, Keffe D didn't just decide to come clean in recent years. He had actually spilled the beans way back in 2008 during an interview with the Los Angeles police. But here's the kicker. He wasn't doing it out of the goodness of his heart. No, it was a deal, a quid pro quo kind of arrangement. He provided this confession in exchange for immunity in a separate case involving a PCP ring. In other words, he was singing like a canary to save his own skin. Now, let's get to the heart of his allegations. According to Keffe D, it wasn't just some random act of violence on that fateful night. Oh no, this was part of a more significant and far more sinister plan. He claimed that Sean Diddy Combs, the hip-hop mogul, ordered the hit on Tupac and Suge Knight. And why? Well, because of personal issues and disputes, according to Keffe D.
He's apparently made an agreement with him to a retainer agreement, but there's still some things to work out.
He called.
Okay, and is that person going to be here today?
No, he needs 2 weeks, he said, to be here.
Yep, just kind of put your butt up against there. Kick that foot up. You ready?
It's just a question of the client getting the lawyer on board.
Because you listen, 7 years ago, I'd have been like, yo, did you hire somebody to kill Pac? But no, you do it like a journalist.
It's like hip-hop meets organized crime, an explosive cocktail. And it wasn't just a run-of-the-mill hit. It was an alleged hit fueled by some serious animosity. Keffe D claimed that Tupac's infamous diss track, Hit 'Em Up, was the spark that ignited this fiery feud. The track, which was an all-out attack on the notorious B.I.G. and Bad Boy Records, allegedly angered both Combs and Knight. It's like hip-hop beef taken to a whole new level. Keffe D even alleged that Combs agreed to pay a substantial sum for this fatal. But here's where it gets even crazier. The money never made it into the right hands. It's like something out of a crime thriller. You have hitmen, a big payday, and an explosive track that set everything in motion. Keffe D's claims are the kind of stuff that you'd expect to find in a crime novel, but this is the real deal. Whether you believe it or not, one thing's for sure, it adds another layer of intrigue to the already complex web of mysteries surrounding Tupac's slaying.
Okay, and what's his name again?
E.D. Fall.
E.D. Fall?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we're going to continue this matter for 2 weeks on.
If they do come arrest me, all I want to do is just try to do the best.
One of the most difficult things for somebody to do in a case like this is hire the right lawyer, because
That he will be convicted of first-degree murder, and that allows us to ask for a no bail settlement.
years old, he's been, he was taking a walk with his wife when he got arrested.
Public disclosures and media and memoir. First up, we have the 2018 series Demise Row Chronicles. This was a pivotal moment in the unfolding saga. In this series, Keffe D made headlines by publicly admitting to being in the infamous white Cadillac during the shooting. It was as if he had thrown open the doors to a hidden vault of information, providing additional details that had long been elusive. The world was now privy to his confessions and the gritty specifics of that fateful night. This was a game changer, not just for the viewers, but for the ongoing investigation. Then comes Keefe D's memoir, Compton Street Legend, released in 2019. In this literary work, he delved even deeper into the dark waters of his involvement in the Tupac slaying case. He didn't just stop at admitting his presence. He provided a more comprehensive account of his interactions with various individuals linked to the crime. The memoir pulled back the curtain on a world riddled with secrets, alliances, and hidden agendas. It was like a backstage pass to a real-life crime epic. What's perhaps most striking about these public disclosures is Keefe D's lack of remorse. In his interviews and memoir, he didn't seem haunted by his role in the slaying. Instead, he shockingly referred to Tupac's demise as collateral damage. It's like he was speaking about some business transaction gone wrong rather than a human life tragically lost. He even emphasized that he believed the shooting was justified, given the events leading up to it. It's a stark and unsettling perspective that have left many both baffled and disturbed. That's all for this video, folks. See you next time.